Welcome to another episode of Swine Radio. And that was the swine. Yesterday I spoke about gaming challenging and so on, and on difficulty levels, and I got a really good response from Chad from America, one of my YouTube friends, and he told me about how he didn't have the time to get good at games, and he just want a relaxing experience when he get home and don't want to invest so much time into the game. And I think that was a good argument against maybe why you shouldn't challenge yourself all the time, because maybe you don't have time for being good, so you can overcome the challenge and you just want a gaming experience. And I thought that was actually a good counterpoint to my argument why you should spend more time in games, and I think he was actually very correct about that assessment. I think we all play games differently, and it's very good because I think, of course, Chad is a good person, so he answered me in a mature manner. I didn't call me stupid or anything, but I thought he made a good argument, and if you're interested to read more about his well-written argument, you can check the earlier episode of the first episode of Swine Radio. I think he made a very good point, and I don't think it should be lost on everyone, because I'm not always right. I'm opinionated and always stating my opinion, but just because it's just an opinion, so I can be wrong in your eyes, but in my eyes, my opinion is okay. But you get the point. And today I had decided to once again, Chad led me into this wave, and he spoke about DLC and what my opinions about that is. And I must say that's a double-edged sword with DLC, because many games actually something DLC can actually prolong the life and replay value of a game. But many times, too often, in my opinion, they are just used for a easy money grab, so the game developers can get money. And actually, it's not the game makers. I have worked on both sides of this fence. I have also worked. I worked for 5 years with software and was a product specialist in software. And it will always be so, as long as the consumer is prepared to pay for it. There will always then there is a demand, and that demand will always be met if there is money in it. So this pre-order DLC is a good example of software game companies actually earning extra money, because if they can rack up a big pre-order, they can get a better budget for the game and so on. But I think it's unfair when this pre-order DLC give you things that other people doesn't get. I don't care if it's just cosmetic things or a collector box with how behind a making of the game DVD or something like that, so that collectors can find value in. But I think when I see some games today, and that's actually the consumer's problem, because they are paying for it. If nobody would buy it, they wouldn't sell it. They won't take the time to make a product and put it on the market if nobody is buying it. So it's the consumer's problem, because for example, I checked out the new Battlefield Hardline game. It's a good example of that. They're actually selling a different version of the same game, more standard, and they actually launched the whole platform. So if you pay more money, you get more of the game, and that's how I feel it. It feels like you actually go and buy a game that's not complete because you didn't buy the bigger version, and that business practice is so wrong in my eyes, and I get so angry about people because I know they wouldn't do it if not people paid for it. So it's actually the consumer's problem. If you had boycotted that product overall, it wouldn't happen, but people, we will see more of that, I can promise you, because as long as there is money in it, they will do it. After all, this company is not a charity thing. They don't do games for us because they love games. Maybe those that create a game love making games, but after all, in the end, it's all about for them to make a living, and a good living if they can, like every other people. And as long as we consumers actually buy into this kind of shit, that we are buying a half a game and have to pay more for a bigger version, they will do it because there's money in it. For example, I worked on a software company, and they did audio software, music production and post-production, and I was a product specialist there, and they had different kind of levels in this kind of software. They have more a starter pack for, let us say, €100, and then they had a middle version for €400 and a big version for €1,000, and there it made sense because to have different versions, because those versions were so different from each other. The more you pay, there's more functions to get, but the game companies actually gives you very little for those extra versions, and you pay a lot more for them if you look at it that way, and they will continue to do it as long as people pay for it. And that's the big problem. People are paying for this, they are supporting this kind of business practice, and we could vote with our wallet, but people doesn't do that. They buy into this shit, they do it, so it will continue and we can't stop it. That's the reality of things. As long as people are paying for it, it will happen. Why should I quit? They're earning money, more money, and why should I quit? It would be stupid of them not to charge more money if they can. That's how a market works, with demand and supply. If they can supply us for a more expensive game with one more character or anything else on launch, they will, and if they can earn extra money, will do it. They will even plan for it. They will do different versions long before the game is released, because there are money in it, and the big error is that we consumer pays for it. If we didn't pay for it, it wouldn't be viable. It wouldn't work as a business practice, and it's actually, I blame us consumers. We buy into this shit, and talking about shit in business practice, a very good example from two very popular companies. The guys that make GTA 5 on consoles, they actually got away with selling a game that was not finished. They sold a game without multiplayer, and people defended it and bought it. They bought a game that wasn't finished, and they got the finished product along later. And they bought into it just because it was Rockstar. If EA had done some kind of shitty practice, people would go berserk. And I thought it was a very shitty business practice, because they was just grabbing money. And if you look at the release date, you see, okay, they want the quarter report to be better. It was just a money decision, and people pay for it once more. And we will see more of this kind of shit, because people are, if the companies can get away with this, and we consumers actually support them. And I'd say, even if you don't think you support it, as long as you're paying, you're supporting that kind of business. And it's like, I think Rockstar is a very good example, because everybody loves those games. And I have a very good metaphor. Let's say you know the plumber that fixes your plumbing in the house, and he does a great work year out every year, and you have to have him, he comes every year and does a great work, and you really liked this guy, and one day you decide to build a new bathroom, and he comes inside there and says, and he works the whole day, and then he left the day. Okay, I come back next month and install the warm water. After all, I have given you so much work, and I've been so nice. So, and then we consumers say, if this was Rockstar, okay, I love your work, Mr. Plumber, because you have actually done so much work, so you can get away with that. That's okay. Come back next month and install the warm water. At least I can have a working bathroom right now. And that's the thing is, I don't understand why people are getting so frustrated with delays. Delays is the best possible outcome from gaming companies. If they release a half a product but just to meet a release date, and they release a product that are not finished, I think it's stupid. It's very stupid, and I think I have respect for delays. It's better to delay your game and make it work than release a half a product here. And I think Rockstar really fucked their customers over in that way, because they knew they could get away with it. They wouldn't have done it if they couldn't get away with it, and because people want their game and they don't care, and they will pay for it. So it worked, and this is just how things gonna be, because we consumers support this kind of business practice, and it's shitty and it's shady. I think it wouldn't work in many other consumer markets, because we wouldn't allow it. We wouldn't go into a store, buy a TV, and say, okay, I will get the HD resolution next month, but I will buy it now because I want it now. I want my new TV now, and I can wait for more functions later. I want it now. I know it's a half a product, but I will want it now, and that's the thing. We gamers, we want everything so quick. Have some patience and wait for a good game instead. Wait until the game is finished. Don't pressure our game makers to make these shady shit deals there where they lived. And I can't really, just because a company is popular, they get away with it. A very good example on Xbox. I read today one of the guys that made this collection of Halo games. I don't like them, but he actually excused himself for releasing a shitty product with no functioning multiplayer for months. He said, there were so many different platforms, and it was very hard to us to make everything work, and we have never done a thing like that before. But that's no fucking excuse. You made a fucking game. It should work when you buy it. I don't care if you're making Halo or you're making some AI sport game. It should fucking work when I buy it. And there's no fucking excuse to release a product that does not work. It's like, this is fucking crazy, and people defend that. And if, for example, I love the Hitman game, but if their Hitman HD pack, their remaster, and if they had excused themselves, it was very hard to make these remasters. So we are sorry that this part of the game doesn't work as it should. I will go fucking berserk, because I don't care that they'll deliver me a shitty product that doesn't work, and people, if it's the right company, people will defend them, and I can support that kind of business practice, and it makes me angry because people actually allow it. And I don't say that, you make some noise on a fucking internet forum where no game maker would never in their life read that you hate that business practice. But if you have bought the game, you have bought the shit. And if you bought the shit and they can sell shit, they will sell shit to you. That's how it works. It doesn't matter that you write an angry comment on an internet forum where a game maker will never log in. It won't make a difference because you already paid for it. It will hurt the game companies in the long run, but actually it's this way. People are stupid who will pay for shit, and that's how it works. So as long as you pay for shit, we will get shit. That's how it works. So I think we consumers are to blame. We shouldn't jump on the ship. We shouldn't, if we see a game company releasing half a game, we shouldn't buy it. I know it's tempting to try out the game before it's made and so on. I have been a professional beta tester and alpha tester for Steinberg, Adobe, or some other companies. I know what I bought. I know what I did. I had buggy software, and that was part of the deal. But when people start paying for playing, I can't understand why you will pay money for play a beta version. A beta version is not a finished product. There will be bugs, there will be game-breaking things, and people actually want to do this and pay money for it. It's mind-boggling. I did it as it was a part of my product. As a product specialist where I worked before, it was an advantage for me to see how to get all the very good functions that I had to sell to my customers. I knew everything before even it was released, and that was an advantage that made me in my work as a product specialist. I become a much better product specialist because I was always up to date. I was even working in the future, so I knew the functions will be there, and I tried them out long before they were released. So on day one, I knew exactly how I could pitch this to my customer and help them with those kind of versions. But when I saw people are paying for playing beta, and as I said, if we consumers pay for it, they will. If there is a demand, they will supply. That's how the market works, and that's the reality of it. And as you as a consumer, you always vote with your wallet. So if you're paying for beta, you will have pay beta, but you have to play broken games. That's the reality of it. And I think it ties into the DLC, and I think especially those DLC where we don't get the full game on the day one because they are selling different versions. This really sucks actually, because many people will not experience the full game because they don't have funds for buying the bigger version. Some of those bigger versions cost around €100 or $100 and $90, and that's a lot for a game. Especially what was so funny about this game they are selling for this extra price is actually very short games, and the value of those games really sucks, and the big part of those games is the multiplayer part of this, so that's the big draw to those games, but they get away to be making games with less value, and that's how it is, and people buy it. I won't buy it, but people will do it. And I think a very good example how DLC should work. I remember Bethesda, when the Oblivion game came out, they made infamous horse armor, a horse armor that didn't give any stats and just a cosmetic thing for your mounts in the game. And they sold it and people went berserk. And that was great, because after that Bethesda went back. Their DLC is like no other DLC I played, because they actually do it more like they do it back in the day. They are big expansion, often adding 10 hours gameplay or more to their DLC. They really have a great DLC, and I think they understand that people really buy their stuff, and I can promise you, I think most Skyrim player will actually buy. Half of them would probably buy those DLC because there is great value, and you get a better game in the long run. But there are so much shady shit, like Capcom, they are fucking selling a scarf or something for a lot of money and cosmetic changes, and And if I think the best sort of pre-order DLC is some kind of cosmetic change, because I think it's a good way to draw people to the games. If they got pre-orders, they will get a better budget and so on. But when they are selling 75% of a game and you have to buy the rest of the 25%, it's the wrong way. But I think it can be okay to give them. I think collector's editions are very good value, because for collectors they can get a book or something, an art book or anything, and something extra. That's the real value actually, and it doesn't take away the experience for those people that doesn't buy this special version, because the special version is more like a collector, like a DVD where you buy a making of the video game. Sometimes you just want, but they are not releasing 75% of the product. They're just releasing some extra stuff that have value for some people, and I think that is the most fair way to do launches on a game. But many games, I must say, I love the tropical games, but they are really trying to grab money. They have released this DLC where you get a map and a new building, and it's quite expensive, and it really I never bought into that. I love the games, but I never bought them because I thought it was stupid, and I couldn't understand why they didn't just after the game was done and they had done all their mini DLCs that are released to every mini DLC for a fair price. But no, they are trying to sell, it's almost the same value of the game, they're selling small stuff. And I think microtransactions only belong to free-to-play games, where people can support their developers. But we see this microtransaction shit in normal games nowadays, and people once more spend money on it, so they support it. If you buy something, you support it. It doesn't matter what you think afterwards if you feel fooled, because other people will do the same mistake. And if you know about it, for fuck's sake, do some research. Don't buy shit. If you can, that impulse you have to just buy it. Wait, read something. Take 5 minutes of your time and try to find out what they actually are paying for. I can't. Consumers are stupid, and people will always take advantage of stupid people, and that's how it works. And some companies that have very good will get away with stuff much easier, and they will take advantage of your goodwill. They will do it. Did you think Rockstar would dare to release half a game if they knew that everyone would go berserk? They wouldn't do it, but they know they have got their goodwill of they're making great games. I can't argue with that, but just because you make great products, it doesn't mean you have special. In my book, you don't have special powers to do what the fuck you want because I like you. It's like a relationship with your girlfriend and she does stupid shit. It's still stupid shit even that you like your girlfriend, for fuck's sake. It's just a company and they will earn money. I can't understand that. And I understand that people get angry at EA because they do this kind of shit all the time, and I promise you, Rockstar will do this shit all the time also, because you already supported their stupid business practice. So when I can promise you in the future, when GTA 7 or 6 come out, they will do the same thing. It worked last time, so that's how it is, and you pay for it. You stupid fuck. Sorry, but it makes me angry. And I think actually I will stop here because I think I covered it. DLC can be a very good thing. It can add value to your games already on, and I would say if I'm doing my research, I don't buy products blind. I never was that kind of impulsive guy. I think it's as fun as researching as buying things. I don't buy shit because I find out if it's shit or not. I take that extra time. If they want the money, they have to convince me that they are selling something good and or selling me something I want. And then I have buy it. I have a right to be angry if it's a shitty product. And a good example for me, if I'm gonna rant on a company game series I like, just because I ripped Rockstar apart in this radio show. I love the Hitman game, but still in Hitman Absolution there is a game-breaking bug where your save could get corrupted, and that means there are over 200 challenges in the game. So if you have done 100 challenges in the game, you can lose them all by a corrupt save, and you have to start the whole game over. And this happened to me, and long after release, people have Square Enix and Eidos has not fixed this bug, and it still exists there, so I have to do backup save, because otherwise I can lose all my progress in that game. And I lost all my save when I had done over 100 challenges, and it really sucked because I had to start over. And people whine on about the forums, but they know, I can promise you, because there is a good thing about DLC, because then the games doesn't stop the development. So like in Hitman, they are not doing any DLC, so there's nobody working on the Hitman game, so there won't be no bug fix for this game breaking bug, because there is nobody working with it, and that's our reality of it, and it sucks. That game is broken, and actually it's really broken, because it can, if you, especially I think about Chad, he was a good example. He has little time. Maybe when he had worked 15 hours in Hitman Absolution and lost all his progress, he will probably never start over like I did. That's a guy that always invests very much time in the game, but that will break the game and leave him nothing, and that sucks. And let's quit here now. I can rant forever otherwise. And as always, thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.